Hello and welcome to another episode of Mother Knits. Today I have the top 20 kid and baby knitting and crochet projects that you could ever need for the year 2024. The sun is setting quickly, so I better get to it. We better chat about all of these beautiful kid and baby knits and a few crochet projects that I could not help myself. They were so darling and just looked like they would be such quick and easy and just absolutely precious little projects. So I have spent quite a lot of time this week doing a lot of making, a lot of baking. I baked over 100 sugar cookies for an event for my husband's work. And then I've made over 25 pieces of pottery this week. I've been knitting, of course, and I'll give you guys all of the updates in next week's knitting podcast. But when the end of the day came and my hands were tired, and I do love that feeling, I just needed to, sit down and dream about all of the darling kid and baby knits that I want to be making for my kiddos and the baby that we are expecting this March. So I have a wide range of sizes and projects and seasons that are going to get you all the way through the year 2024. So again, you guys are going to get the full update next week on the Arizona winter jacket, the pressed flower shawls. They are coming together so beautifully. I cannot wait to show you guys. I'm having so much fun with those projects, but I've decided I also need smaller projects on my needles in addition to what I'm making for myself. So it could be just like a little accessory for the home, but since I have almost 3 children and they have friends, and kid knits just are the perfect little most darling projects. I have found, you guys, these 20 patterns, this Roundup is so good. And I have bundles in Ravelry that break these up into 2 sizes. So I'm going to give you my top 20 today, but between the 2 bundles, the baby bundle and the children bundle, there's like over 50, somewhere between 50 and 100 projects that are anywhere from just like your very basic utilitarian kind of clothing needs that your kids might really get a lot of wear out of, all the way to the most whimsical and darling little toys and accessories. So let's go ahead and jump in. And one more side note before we get started, I've already recorded this video this week. I recorded it with my daughter, Lincoln. She spent an hour sitting down, going through all of these patterns, giving her 2 cents, but the audio is not usable. I have spent time manipulating that footage and really wanting her opinion and perspective on these to come through, and it just wasn't happening. So some of it is usable. So if I get to some of these, I might insert some little clips of when we sat down and chatted about all of these, because I loved hearing her little 8-year-old perspective on especially the toys. So let's get started with our top 20 projects for kids, all the way from newborn up to age 12. We've got a really wide range of things we're going to be diving into, but the very first thing I wanted to chat about are baby blankets. I am not a lover of just sitting down and doing a blanket anymore. Maybe I'm just kind of burned out on them, but I did find a knitting pattern and a crochet pattern that did sort of sweep me away and really looked like such incredible heirloom pieces. Now, you can get on Ravelry or YouTube and just search easy baby blanket knitting pattern, and there's going to be so many options for you. And same with if you're a crocheter. But I really wanted to find something that would sort of challenge me and would really be something super beautiful. So for the knitting option for knitting blankets, I found the Golden Leaves blanket, which if you are new to working lace like I am, this was a really beautiful option. And it's a free pattern, which I love. I've already downloaded the pattern and sort of taken a look at it. And I think this is just absolutely stunning. And if you picked the right kind of like tone of color and you didn't go with like the really traditional baby pink or baby blue, I really feel like this could grow up with the child for many, many years. I think this is a gorgeous pattern. And if I was going to dedicate a lot of time to sitting down and doing a baby blanket, I would want to do something like this. Now, in the world of crochet, I kind of feel the same way. I don't want to just be doing like a double crochet stitch for rows and rows and rows. I'm just not that kind of crafter. That's not the season I'm in currently. And if I'm going to put that much time into making something, I really want it to be quite impressive. And so for the crochet baby blanket, I found Charlotte's Sunshine Baby. And I even showed this one to my husband last night as I was compiling all of these patterns and really just doing the final look through. And he was like, that is absolutely beautiful. He really liked the darker version in the project page. I'll put that picture up here. But you could really do a lot with this. It could be such a beautiful gift to give a family. I think it would look incredible just draped over the back of a chair, of a rocking chair, especially if you're knitting for someone who really does appreciate more of that vintage aesthetic and is, which I certainly do. And there's so many crochet projects that lean into that really well. And I liked this because it wasn't as casual as like a granny square blanket, but it is essentially just one enormous granny square. And I think that there's so much room for creativity in the colors that you choose in the little pops of color that come out. But I did just want to throw in, just a few baby blankets that I thought were special enough. Again, weren't just your kind of typical baby blanket. Now, staying in the realm of the newborn age group, there are some really, really darling going home sets that I found on Ravelry. Right now, my favorite is the going home vest and set. This just looks like a very easy little knit, and you could make it very gender neutral. There are a few others that I have saved in my baby bundle, but the reason I like the going home vest is because where we're at in March, it's already going to be plenty warm, and the sets that are full pants and full long sleeves would be just probably a bit too much. And I'm looking for sets that are going to go over just a simple cotton onesie so that you can add a little bit of an outfit over those little onesies and make like a little matching hat without being too hot, essentially. So there are some other sets that maybe I'll just make them anyway, and in the evenings when it really cools down here in the high desert, that could work. But I just really liked the going home vest as far as sharing with you guys because I think it would work up so quickly. You could really get through like some stash yarn. It just looks like such a simple and really meaningful little knit. And then instead of getting the pattern that totally matches the going home set, I found these baby Uggs, and it's a free pattern. And not only is it a free pattern, but it's a pattern that includes sizes, I think it was 3 months old, all the way up to 18 months old for these little baby Ugg booties, which I thought was so clever to have like such a nice wide size range for something like these. So I will definitely be making multiple pairs of these little baby Uggs. I just think these would be the perfect little do one evening, do the other evening. You probably could even knock them out, you know, depending on how much time you have in an evening to yourself. And I just think that they are absolutely precious. So I will definitely be making one of these in like each of the sizes. I'm probably going to go with that like traditional like Ugg color, that camel brown. And then once we find out if it's a boy or girl, I might, you know, throw in a few extra colors. But I foresee our little baby just like always having a pair of these, you know, in the diaper bag and on the go. I'm so excited to make these. Now, there were a few little newborn crochet rompers that I just had to show you guys. If you have a background in crochet, you're going to totally appreciate these. These would work up so quickly. They're absolutely darling. They're definitely more of a feminine, like a little girl knit with the rainbow and the cheetah pattern. These are called the Newborn Romper Rainbow and the Newborn Romper Leo. And for the timing of when our baby is due, I think these would work out perfectly. I would take a little extra time and make these straps thicker. And I might even like knit those. I don't know. We'll see. Or I would just do a few rows of like double crochet stitch so that it isn't such a string, but more of like a proper strap, because otherwise to me they look a little bit like a swimsuit. But when I was showing these to Lincoln, she had just the most darling feedback, especially about the rainbow ones.
Yeah, I would do more I think I would do all the stripes with sequins, not just...
Yeah. Would they be different color sequins or just all sequins, the same color?
I think probably different color sequins.
That'd be fun. Now, the thing that's going to be good to know about those little crochet projects is I think they only went up to 4 months old. So these are truly just for a teeny tiny little baby. There's like no size range there. But if you are skilled in crochet and you want to kind of manipulate that pattern, I feel like in crochet it's so much easier to make things bigger. You know, you could, but I was a little bit bummed to see that this size range for this one ended at 4 months old. Let's go ahead and move in to the next category that I have, which is more of toddler and children sizes. So I've got a few things I really wanted to share that is from itty bitty baby all the way up to 24 months. Now, the same designer, whose name I will put here because it is slipping my mind at the moment, but her crochet little rompers, she also had some projects for some older kids that I thought were just so darling, which is the Snork Boho Cardigan and the Princess Bauble Jumper. These are so cute. There is so much personality going on with these little projects. If you have a little girl in your life who loves design and loves art and loves color, I think these would just be so whimsical and so fun to dress a little kid in. And when I was talking to Lincoln about this, she had some great ideas about the boho cardigan and the colors that she would use. Any colors or thoughts on this one that you would want to do?
Maybe like, I like the fade, like the light pink, and like it goes down darker. Mm-hmm. I like that idea, but I would do that with yellow.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Like a pale yellow down to...
like a darker.
Just dark yellow, like a mustard yellow or something, yes. Or marigold.
Yeah, marigold yellow.
So let's bring in the perfect knit. This is a knitting project for the little boy in your life. This one is very high on my list of projects to get to because I have a 6-year-old boy, and this is the Perfect Boys. Oh, it's not. I wrote in my notes that it's called the Perfect Boys Cardigan, but it's actually called the Tamarack. And This comes up to a size 12. I love that in a paid pattern that you are going to get the teeny tiny sizes all the way up to age 12, because then if you really get in a groove with a pattern and you've got a growing boy at home and you have such a timeless, beautiful garment like this one, I think it's just absolutely perfect. I think my little boy would love it. I think especially where we live, he would wear this so many months out of the year with hiking boots, or even I could see it being, very dressed up with like a nice little denim button up underneath it. I think the color choice here in the pattern is absolutely perfect. I love that color brown. I was also thinking like a hunter green, like a dark green color would be really beautiful as well, especially with my son. He has hazel eyes. But this is just perfect. What is her name? The designer's name, Jessica McDonald is what I want to say, but I'm going to put it here on the screen just to be safe. She has incredible children's knits. And what I really, really loved about exploring her offerings on Ravelry is the size range, is that she's got the tiny little sizes for your, little toddlers all the way up to age 12, which is just so wonderful because all of her pieces are absolutely classic knitwear. And I would say out of everyone that I found, as far as children's designers, when I was looking around, I was definitely the most impressed with her. And I love her knitting podcast too. I have another few knitting garments that I really wanted to highlight. And again, I have so many more basic items that are saved in the bundles that you guys can look at that are pretty high on my list, but I wanted to show you the ones that to me had an element of specialness. And this next one is definitely that, which is called the Grow Your Flowers cape. This is by the same designer who designed the ranunculus, the infamous ranunculus, which I'll talk more about in my 2024 knitting plans. I actually have a lot to say about that pattern, but I found it really interesting. I wanted to see if she had any kid knits, and I saw this cape, and this just got my imagination going. My children are pretty innocent. They like fairy tales. They love to use their imagination. They play outside a lot. And my daughter just absolutely loves good old classic fairy tales. And I just see her totally wearing this. She would probably ask for it in like a bright red color, like Little Red Riding Hood, but very, very classy kind of knit. And I have to say, I'm kind of tempted to make that for her because I think it would just be so striking, especially in the winter, with, some boots on. I just think that would be so cute for a little girl. But as I was really looking at this pattern and thinking about it, because it's from toddler up to adult. So if you have a very whimsical, artistic kind of style about you, you can make a matching one for yourself. And I considered that, but I don't think it's the most wearable for me. But it did really get me thinking. I'm like, how could I incorporate that cape into an outfit? Because how fun would that be? And doing like a camel color or something, a little more sophisticated, or like a really beautiful navy or dark green or plum color could look really gorgeous. And then I was thinking that I think a teenage girl who's really into like reading and period pieces, I think she would really appreciate something like this as well. So this pattern, I just had to show it to you guys because it really got me thinking about what it's like when you have a garment that's on the border of like playing dress up in public. And it just really got my imagination going. And I just think it would be absolutely, of course, like the most darling thing ever on a toddler or a little girl. But I even think like a preteen or a teenage girl with the right attitude and personality could absolutely pull this off as well. Now, the final garment, knitted garment that I really wanted to showcase is something, this was actually one of the very first things that inspired me to start a children's bundle when I found this sweater, which is the Haida fairy sweater. Now, I know I'm kind of showcasing a lot of the girl knits, but if you guys go into the bundles, I've got a few sweaters in there that are for the boys as well, not leaving them out. But the design in this was just too special not to show you. I do truly wish this also came in adult sizes, and maybe after working the pattern you could kind of manipulate or figure out a way to put this into just a basic, raglan stockinette kind of sweater, because I would totally wear this like as a creative and homeschooling mom and just someone who's super crafty. This would totally fit in with some jeans and like casual boots. I would totally rock this. I think this is just so whimsical and cute. The more I looked at it, it doesn't look like it would be a terribly challenging project. The back of it is just plain stockinette. The sleeves are stockinette. There's just going to be a bit of detailing on the front and really, probably a little bit of paying attention. But I don't think that this would be all that difficult. It certainly wouldn't be as challenging as like an all over color work sweater in just my guess by looking at this and how it's constructed. But I just think it would be a really fun, engaging knit where you're still going to have plenty of stockinette to do. And the sleeves look very basic. There's a lot of very basic elements, but these fairies are so cute. And I would probably, instead of doing a white sweater, I think I would go for a little bit of a darker sweater, because if I made this for my child, I would have them wearing it all the time, and I would hope that they would want to wear it all the time. And that white makes me a little bit nervous with little kids. So I would probably go with even like a tweed or something that would hide little spills or messes or mud or anything like that that's going to get on their sweater, or maybe even like a dark purple or something, and then pick some really bright pops of colors for the fairies. Maybe the fairies have white dresses or something like that. But I think that this was just too cute not to show you guys, because it is just absolutely darling. So again, you can explore some more garments in these bundles. The baby bundle, I tried to keep it, it's like 24 months and under. And then the children's bundle, that's where you'll find the more extended size ranges. So let's transition into the most adorable and darling little stuffies you've ever seen. Now, as we get into all of these stuffed animals, and there's quite a few that I've saved, I actually want to just point out the designer Maria Emervola. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. Is kind of one of those designers that when I found her, I was like, she is who I've been looking for. She's doing it. She's doing what I wanted. She is creating stuffed animals that are all about the same size and the same kind of proportions, and then matching seasonal outfits to go on each one. So the one that stood out to my daughter when we were talking was the bunny toy. And these stuffies, I think, would make, of course, a darling baby gift, but they really would stay with your child for many years. I think that these would really be played with for a very long time. I love the look of them. I am very picky when it comes to stuffed animals and the way that their bodies are proportioned and like these just are, to me, they are perfect. The bunny, the fox, the kitten, all of the matching outfits. I think that it's such a special collection. She has the stuffed animals, I believe, are all knitted, and then some of the outfits and accessories are crochet projects. So for someone like me, I was like, goldmine. That's perfect because I love the look of the elegance of the stockinette on the stuffed animal itself. But then when you're getting into the outfits and the things that have a bit more volume and more texture, I think crochet is perfect for doll clothes and for just adding those, the texture that really would make those outfits very special. So absolutely someone to check out if you are into this idea of really a little bit more ornate toy making, which I think would be really, really interesting to get into. She, as a designer, is just saved as a favorite in my bundle because there's so much to really look through in what she has designed as far as toys go. And what I just think is so sweet about this is if you made this for a child, you could then continue to gift little outfits and little accessories that go with that doll. And I just think that's so special. I just realized I've left... Okay, there's one more toy. We're going to have a bonus 21 top children's items for 2024 because there is one that I just realized isn't on my list that I have to mention, which is the Swan and these baby ducks. I think it's called Big Sister Swan was the pattern name. This is so special. I love this so much because not only is it a wonderful toy, and I think that the little baby ducklings would be played with a lot, but I could just imagine, like even in our nursery here, putting that knit up on a shelf or the top of a dresser with those little baby ducklings around it and maybe a fairy tale book sort of just propped up behind it. I think it would make an absolute gorgeous decor piece in a child's room, and would just match so beautifully with some of these other toys like the fox and the bunny, and then you have a swan. And I think that it's just really fun to make toys and play with toys that are outside of the traditional teddy bear, which for me feels like more of a snuggly bedtime kind of thing. And I wanted to include some toys that I know my kids would actively use them and play with them and want to bring them along on adventures. This one is working its way up to the top of my list very, very quickly. Another toy that I thought was just really, really special and again had like very perfect proportions to me was the Snow White the unicorn. And I love this because you could also just make this into a horse. So you could do the pattern and do the all white and make the unicorn. And I think that that would just be absolutely so beautiful. But then I think it would be really fun to do like a tan or a dark brown, even a horse with some little spots everywhere or something. Like you could really change the colors around to make it look a little more matte, like for a little boy. I think my little boy wouldn't enjoy a unicorn as much as he would enjoy a horse. I think it looks a little bit smaller than some of the others that I've included as well, so I really liked the size of it. The other, even smaller little toy knit that I think is just so cute is the little mouse in a sweater. This is all knit up, I believe, in one piece except for the ears. The ears are done separately. I almost cast this on today because I just think they would be really, really cute little Christmas stocking stuffers. I think that having very small little stuffed animals for children to play with, like those ducklings and like a mouse, there's something so special about a child just being able to put that in their pocket or in a bag, which we're going to end on. I've got an adorable little kid bag, but that they can kind of take it with them and it's almost like a secret little friend. I think there's something so whimsical and special about that. I don't know a child who wouldn't really, really like that. And it would fit in their hand so well. You could make many of these. And I just think they would be such a fun little project. So I think I'm going to order some of the little eyes, because you do need to get the, they're almost like beads, but you can just find like stuffed animal eyes. And I'm really tempted to try to whip a few of these toys out before Christmas, because I think Christmas morning, just having a few of the mice like in the stockings and like on the gifts and just kind of around would just be kind of special. And they could have little Christmas sweaters on. And I just think my kids would find that to be so cozy and charming and whimsical, along with some of the other stuffed animals just sort of, they just appeared on Christmas morning. I think that that would be really kind of fun. Now, the final project that I want to show you guys, because again, this was one that I think it was designed maybe for adults, but I saw this as a really amazing, especially little girl option for a bag. And this is a crochet project. This is the Tulip bucket bag by the designer I mentioned earlier, Maria Ermolova. And this just really stood out to me, and I'm almost wondering if there would be a way, instead of doing like the flower embroidery, if you just kind of kept it like a simple navy color, if that could work for a little boy. I know my little boy is always asking for a bag to, when we're out on nature walks or things like that, he's always wanting to collect some things. You could even use like a very rustic, almost like a twine or something, and make this up very, very simply, shorten the straps, or use something that's more like a rope material for a boy. But I loved the version here for a little girl, and you just shorten the straps. And then as she grows up, if she's still loving the bag, you could just make another strap instead of a whole new bag and attach that on. And I think that that would be really lovely. I think little kids having their own little satchel like this is really, really sweet and really empowering. Sometimes a backpack for my kids can be a little bit overwhelming. So something like this, where they can just maybe put a few of those mice and any treasures that they're finding outside, would be really sweet. I just noticed the lighting here is getting a little intense. Okay, had to shift the camera around. Look at this beautiful light that's coming in behind me. I hope you guys enjoyed this roundup of patterns. This was the first time I did this. I'll try to tone it down a little bit. I know 20 is a lot, but I really wanted to cover all ages, all, just really the top of the top that I was finding as far as baby and kids go. I think there's going to be something for everyone in these bundles that I've put together. I am absolutely in love with every single item that I found, and I'm feeling really inspired to cast on some little things that aren't a mosaic knitting shawl or a full jacket, and this just satisfied that need for me, so I hope it did for you too. It's so funny, I'm laughing at myself because it was just last week that I posted, I'm like, I'm opting out of gift knits, and now I'm like, except for maybe a few of these little mice for my kids. Like as I started looking at some of these toys, I was like, can I get these done before Christmas? Maybe. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I'd love to know in the comments which of these were some of your favorite patterns, some that maybe sparked your imagination. If you're going to be adding any of these to your queue, I would love to know. And then if there's anything else you'd love to hear from me, I mean, this is Mother Knits. I am so down for doing some more specific kid or baby pattern roundups. If you guys would be interested in that, let me know in the comments. Give me a little guidance on what you're looking for. Free patterns. Hit the microphone. Free patterns, or just anything like that. I would really love just some feedback and to know what it is that you guys are looking for, because I've got a pretty good handle on some really whimsical and darling little kid crafts. I'm really, really into that, if you can't tell. So I hope you guys are well. Next week, I'll be doing more of our traditional knitting podcast. I'm really excited to get you guys caught up on what's been on my needles, what I've been working on. It'll be such a fun episode next week, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.